In this showcase, we're going to be looking at my custom Marvel Legends style Sun-Man. This custom figure is much along the lines of when I did my 2000X style He-Man on Marvel Legends style, which is here. I used the Retro Hercules figure for the base for this one, and 2000X He-Man for all the accessories parts with a Marvel Legends head. This one is the young Thor head, and it worked out really good. The Masterverse sword, which you may have noticed since last time you've seen it, it is chromed out using the graphite powder. But set that to the side. This is also on the Retro Hercules body. First thing I did was took the figure apart, dyed all the parts a chocolate brown, which is really deep dark brown. After that, I dry brushed burnt sienna brown from Testor's Master Acrylics over top of that, which gave us a really nice highlight, and that ended up matching up almost spot on with the color for the Marvel Legends Rhodey head I used for the figure. So you can see that you got nice depth of shade and skin on the skin tones. You got the nice shadowy effect of the chocolate brown dye, and the burnt sienna makes great highlights. Gives a real natural tone to the skin tones. All the accessories on the figures comes from the Mattel Masterverse figure. Some of the parts were actually molded onto the figure, and I had to do some modifications. Same with the boots. The boots took a lot of modifications. They weren't molded onto the figure, but they were a lot taller. The forearm bracers, gauntlets, whatever you want to call them, they're actually part of the arms on the Masterverse figure. So I actually cut those off, hollowed them out, and made them actually slide on pieces so they'll fit onto the Hercules forearms. The hands actually worked perfectly. Just did a little bit of paint work on those, painted them up, a little bit of washes, and dry brushed over top of that. Same with on the gauntlets too. I repainted those and did some dry brushing and some shading on that with washes. Bring out all the sculpted details. And the armor as well. It's got washes and paint. Repainted the armor. The wings were very translucent yellow. You couldn't see any of this detail before I painted it. They're almost like a neon yellow. I had some mahogany wash, then some dry brushed some yellow mixed with gold. Really brought out all the details on those wings. Love how those turned out. The boots were a little bit of work. I cut them down, shortened them down to make them the length of the Hercules. I want these to be pretty well on par on height. So these are actually right. Sun-Man might be just a fuzz taller with the boots, but pretty close. I shortened them down enough as far as I could, and made them look proportionate to them because they were super long boots. Now they're very much proportional to the figure. Shortened the figure back down the Marvel Legends scale, and it turned out really good. I got it painted them up, put some wash into the gold, and repainted some of the gold too. Repainted the washes and painted up the boots. Applied a wash to the weapons as well. Then dry brush some of a Mr. Color Red on top of that. All the armor is repainted. The gold's touched up. For the shield, one thing I did with it, I used a wash to bring out all that sculpted detail around the edge of the ring, and I put some wash on around the edges. You get a little bit of shading there. The Masterverse figures actually have a lot of nice sculpted detail, but they're just not visible with the lack of paint they don't put on these figures. He has one alternate fist hand for the right, and another grip hand for the left. The kilt piece is actually sandwiched in between the torso and the waist piece on the Masterverse figure. So when I cut that loose, I hollowed it out where it's we'll slip it onto the figure. I actually glued this one in place so it's nice and secure. It don't slip around. He's still got his full range of articulation. Nothing's really hindered. The only thing with the straps for the chest harness does limit a little bit the arms coming down. One of the reasons too I use the Rhodey head for this custom project. Normally the Masterverse figures have little peanut heads. They're small heads. They normally work fine on a Marvel Legends body. This is their He-Man size head, but it's a faker. It's the exact same size. For Sun-Man though, it is a huge head. It is a giant noggin, plus he looks like a teenager. It's more like Sun Kid than Sun Man, so I wanted a more mature, badass looking Sun Man, so the roadie head, I think, fit the bill for that. You can see he looks more like a Sun Man than a Sun Kid. I really like how this head looks on the body. Overall, I'm really happy how these Marvel Legends style Motu figures customs has turned out. I'm really digging this. I may have to end up having to do some more, which I am working on a Skeletor. Hopefully I get it finished up for too long. In my collection, I collect more, for action figures, I collect more Marvel Legends scale stuff. I do have some larger scale stuff. I do have the Motu Classics. But I kind of like having Motu stuff and other properties that match up, can interact with other superheroes. But anyway, thank you for taking the time to watch the video. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and be sure to check out the channel. I do weekly customizing live streams, where I'm working on projects like Sun-Man, He-Man, and other properties as well. But anyway, thank you for taking the time for watching the video. Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch y'all next time.